I want to make an announcement before we start. There is going to be a women empowerment meeting and women achievement meeting in Monaco on December, I can't see everyone.
Well, do you want to see everyone?
On December 1st. And I will be speaking at the event. There are not any men allowed at the event. But we are going to be doing some stuff on RPS where, and some other things we're doing where we will invite a couple of the ambassadors to sit at the table with me and come to the event. We will probably have people from Europe because we have to choose people that it's effective for us, cost effective for us to bring them in to the Forbes Monaco event. And also we want to have people that are, that really know the product, that understand the model. The purpose of the event is not about Root. It will be focused on the Rahm Foundation and the internship and mentorship programs that Root is helping sponsor. So we will be bringing in some of the people that are helping with this internship mentorship program where we will take high school and college students and really help them. And it won't just be women. We will bring in males as well. But for the event in Forbes on December 1st, it's women only. And the chief editor of Forbes Monaco and Forbes Netherlands will be running that event along with some other people that we're working with. But we will be inviting a couple of you and paying for a couple of you guys to go to that event.
Nancy's putting that on?
Yeah.
She's amazing.
And Dustin and Louise, but Nancy's going to really host it.
Oh, Nancy's cool.
So we're really excited about that. Monaco is a great place. I prefer Nashville, Tennessee, to be honest, over Monaco, but it'll be a great opportunity. They're going to have the Ferrari family there, the Vanderbilt family, the Holofield family, the Bacardi family. I could go on and on. We'll be there.
I'm not invited. I could be drinking and driving.
It's just women.
Okay, fine.
Sorry. I did not do the event, so I can't invite men. I just clarified. I just got off of a call, but we will be talking about that later. But if you guys are interested, let us know. Again, it will only be 2 or 3 people, but Ted and Clayton and Patrick and I will be figuring out how we have a few of you guys at that event to really help represent Root and also represent how Root is sponsoring these mentorship, internship programs. Another exciting thing that will be happening is Forbes has a new television station called Forbes Voice, and we will be hosting a monthly podcast. And if I can't be there, I will be calling on some of you guys to host that for us for their television show. So lots of fun things happening. Been very, very busy. And I have to tell you guys, a lot of you guys have reached out to me and said, you're worried about me, or that you feel like, things have been a little bit off. And I want to say this, I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate you guys caring. It has been a lot. It takes a toll when you're not sleeping and you're traveling like we've all been doing. I appreciate you guys caring about everything, but I will say this, Root is on a solid ground. And when we're in those meetings, we are talking about Root, and we have a lot of contacts now. We just have to figure out going through them and handing those off to some of you all and our corporate team so we can grow all these major businesses and major people that we've met through the different speaking opportunities. So,
but it speaks to something that's really important, and that we tried to express this to the community because it's this community that's created all of this momentum and all the words and everything. Absolutely. And what we've talked about, and we try to continually talk about, depending upon how you want to look at this in a sharing aspect, because if you weren't aware, there's a massive health component to what we do.
Yeah.
But there's also a major financial component to what we do because we like to give back, right? That was kind of the goal.
Yeah.
And, some people are having a hard time accepting that they're receiving more rewards than they might have ever received in their life. And they're having to get comfortable with a new aspect of life. But the momentum that's been created by this amazing community gives everyone an opportunity not to just reach out to your peers, right? The people that you think you have influence over, but the people that you follow, the people that you think are better than you for whatever reason. They may have more influence and might do stuff, the people you look up to. I guarantee you, they want the same things you want. and they're looking for these things. And actually right now, they've probably heard of them. So, it gives you an opportunity to reach out to some people that do have maybe more influence. And because you can share a philosophy with them that you're rewarded for sharing, it's advantageous to both parties. So, but as we get through that part, we get to go over my favorite part,
the medical
which is the disclaimers, because everything that we're going to talk about today is for educational and entertainment purposes. And we don't have to talk about medical issues because
no, it's not intended as medical advice or a substitute for medical advice. We don't give that. That's a physician or qualified health professional that's actually yours and not even ours. We can't give it. So regardless of how many medical doctors we have, we can't give that information to people because that's not our role. Can you go back?
No, but we can, but I was going to.
And you should always consult with a doctor or other healthcare professionals for medical advice or information. You should use this information not to diagnose a health problem, but just for educational reasons only. And it's really important, guys.
And entertainment.
And it's really important, you guys, when you're doing these talks, that you say this, because one of the biggest things that can happen is people making a claim. You can't do that. No matter, I was in school for 21 years. I still don't do that. I've taught at medical schools. I still don't do that. I do try to guide people, but the truth is, we are here to be a solution for health and wellness all over the world. We are getting ready to go into the environmental space. We have so much to do as a team. And I want to go back to what Clay said, because he's so right. There's not any time I've ever been speaking or any time I've ever given an interview or anything where I don't understand that the reason we are where we are is this group and how important this group is to the overall world, not just to my life or Clayton's or your life, but to the overall world. So I want to say a special thank you to everyone today.
So, and as we go with the disclaimer, why would you take a step back and go talk to a doctor when you can listen to Dr. Rahm, someone who's got 20 years of experience in biotech and pharma, holds a master's in science, a PhD, a PsyD and EDD, postdoctoral work at Harvard in nanotechnology and bioscience engineering, Cornell and pharmaceutical management and nutritional counseling. She was an adjunct professor at Johns Hopkins in oncology. She's got 4 kids. We've got a few dogs and a cat. And thank God we didn't get the other cat. But she's had cancer multiple times, brain tumor, spine tumor, Lyme disease, lost her memory, the little things. And she's come through this looking like this. So why would you want to go back and listen to someone else that's not as educated? And I just am married to the woman. So that makes me smart.
Well, so
just on the basis of being here and osmosis. So what are we going to go over today? What? I couldn't remember what we were going to talk about. And I realized it was on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and I realized why I couldn't remember.
Well, we're not claiming that ReLive Greens solves anything. We are going to go over the key ingredients and how we know they help with particular disease states. And I want to start by saying this. Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, all the things that are happening, there's a root to that, right? There's a reason those are happening. And we can't claim to cure any of that. But what we can say is we have ingredients that can help the body support its natural ability to get rid of things in the body doesn't need, to support the body in what it does need. And I think that's honestly a miracle of how we're able to really have products that assist people without claiming to cure anything. We are getting to the root of things to really help people clean their lives up. And, right now with everything going on in the world, we need so much to clean up things.
So let's look at this. You created this amazing little concoction that we've discussed before because of how you've done it. All the GMO tracing, you put a lot of these things together because of your own challenges, your own history, and the fact that, well, you've been featured in Forbes magazine for being so amazing. Look at that. It's right next to you. Is this the best part where I can block myself out and we just look at Forbes and you?
I wanted to go over a few things in that, but we can do it
we'll do
later.
But okay. This is big. So let's hit on this. So when we look at the blend that ReLive is, and I forgot that as we get through this, there's blueberries and pomegranate seeds in here as well for a strategic reason that we're probably going to get into a little bit. But what you've put together is a strategic combination of very, very crucial, deep green vegetables. You have some of the most valuable forms of plankton, right? So
Yeah.
sea-based or water-based greens, some of the prebiotic powders, probiotic powders, inulins, so the different fibers, really hitting on each aspect of what the gut needs, in addition to, some of the components to improve metabolic function and improve immune function. You get aloe vera and cayenne pepper and, the MCT oil, MCT powder. So you get some of the fats to go along with some of these. So it's very strategic. And so when we look at the aspects of Parkinson's, and we look at the aspects of, what we get with dementia, and I think with dementia and Alzheimer's, you put all those together, and there's other aspects of the brain. You can throw in other, memory-based neurological conditions. You get like chronic traumatic encephalopathy, right? But it's interesting when you look at chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, that there's the original version, which is chronic toxic encephalopathy, which leads into this because dementia and Alzheimer's are actually clinically defined as chronic toxic encephalopathy. So as not to make sure that people understand where we're talking about a diagnosis, right? We're not talking about a specific disease. What we're really discussing is a group of symptoms that are identified as a title that's been given, but what we're really going to look at is what's truly underlying and what the important factors are in that, and what nature's really provided us to do good to recover from it, because you can recover from these things. You can reverse them if done properly.
If done properly, there's lots of things you can do to really stop the onset, or if that onset has happened, to really help protect the brain. And one of the reasons leafy greens are so important is it's part of our microbiome. If we can put into our body certain things that help the oxidation, certain things that help inflammation, certain things that impact microbiome, that impact how the body communicates through neurotransmission, that's important, right? And when you look at the leafy greens that we've put into ReLive Greens, there's a reason those were put in. You guys know that my background was psychology, and then I became a scientist. Through that progression of science and learning different areas of the brain and the body and how they communicate, and even how the cells communicate, it was really important to understand every single ingredient that could protect people and also help people that already have this inflammation and the cycle occurring, which causes so many things, from obesity to autoimmune disorders to cancer, to things that are neurocognitive, like these things we're talking about today. So if you really look at the greens that are put in there, they are meant to protect the body, protect the microbiome, help with oxidation, help with inflammation, and really help with the aging and mood as well of the body.
So
then there's that.
There's that. And the beautiful part of Jayla talking about how amazing the slide decks are, which they're amazing.
She did a great job.
I get to have fun with her when I find spelling errors.
Where was it?
Oh, we won't talk about it yet.
Okay.
But you have to pay close attention. So let's talk about ingredients a little bit. And I love the imagery that she did. This is outstanding. So first, and we've talked about this numerous times, but why is chlorella beneficial for the brain? And here's one thing that's actually been proven. A couple things. Are the brain and gut connected?
Yes, and the heart.
So is dysbiosis in the gut going to affect the brain?
100%, which is why your digestive system and your cognitive functioning and neurotransmission system are so connected, along with your endocrine system and everything that goes on in the body. It's all connected. But chlorella is known to really boost brain function. So a lot of people that are doing different things with performance teams like the Olympics or professional teams where they need to stay cognitively focused, they use chlorella. What's not on here though, enough, I don't think, is chlorella helps get rid of toxins. And many of you guys know that I suffered from a prolactinoma, pituitary tumor, and a syringomyelia. And for me, it was really important to constantly use things in my body that would communicate with the body to stay healthy and communicate to get rid of the things that shouldn't be. And another thing that was extremely important for all of us, but it was for me and it still is for me, is to really stop that inflammation that occurs that just keeps things cycling. Because again, you've got the good cells in the body and the bad cells. And you've got to lower the signaling of the cells that are sick so that they do apoptosis or neurosis and they leave the body. And you've got to raise the communication by cleaning the cells and cleaning the body and raise the communication of the good cells so that they learn to thrive. And that includes the way the cells communicate for neurotransmission.
So you're talking about slowing down inflammation.
Yeah.
What's the primary cause of negative inflammation?
Heavy metals and toxins. Yeah.
So it's important to get those toxins out.
It's really important. And we happen to have a product line. We're focusing on ReLive Greens, but we have a product line that is there to help the body detox and then help the body get the proper nutrients. We talk a lot about clean slate and how it helps with all of these, but I think it's really important that you guys understand how important ReLive Greens are to the entire body. And it starts with the brain, but it's actually the overall body that it's affecting when you take these products.
Because if you disrupt the communication pathways, right, and you are so good at pathway development, the gut produces not all, but all of the major amounts of neurotransmitters that are sent through the vagus nerve, through your heart, to your brain, to allow your brain to function.
Yeah.
So you can't just function and say, oh, I'm going to work on my brain to help my memory and help everything else, because you have to make sure the connective pathways all the way through are working properly.
Right.
And you have to make sure that your biome, your microbiome, your virome are all working in your gut. And you're not having a leaky gut, that everything comes back together. You have those tight junctions.
Yeah.
And you feed it properly.
Yep.
So everything works and it communicates better. So,
absolutely, you're smart.
Oh, I've learned from you. Thank you, doctor.
I think we've actually shown this slide before. It's one of my favorites because chlorella, and I've met that seriously, you're one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
You need to meet more people.
I do.
Oh.
But the chlorella is really known in different animal models, including this model we're showing here with the mice model. It's really known to really help with the cognitive functioning so it doesn't decline as much, especially when it comes to dementia. You know, I say this a lot. You didn't ever used to hear about Alzheimer's. People got older and maybe they lost a little bit of their memory. But as our environment has been toxic, as we have become more and more toxic, there's been more and more issues. And so it's really important that we've investigated this. And there's lots of animal models. And now we also have a lot of human models where we're looking at this. One of the things, and I don't think it's in the slide deck, but one of the things we know is that in some of the autopsies with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, they have parasites and fungus in the brain, right? Which are a derivative and can be caused by heavy metals and toxins. And a lot of times they enter through the mouth, which is why the toothpaste that we're going to launch, I think, is going to be so important. But again, this particular article that we have right here talks about the prevention of the progress of cognitive impairment. So I had someone the other day say to me, because we've had lots of questions, which is why we're doing this slide deck today. They said to me, well, someone has dementia or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, they're going to get sick and they're going to get worse regardless. And my answer to that is, I would never say that. As a scientist, as a healthcare provider, I wouldn't say regardless. I would say you need to be the outlier. You need to treat your body. You need to take care of your body so your body, again, elevates the good things and gets rid of the bad things, because it's those bad things that are helping and causing this cognitive dysfunction.
So looking at memory in animals, right? And we use mice in studies because their DNA is closest to humans, and beagles because they're really cute. Right?
They don't use them as much anymore.
No, it's because I know the beagles are really cute and they shouldn't kill animals, and killing mice is hard enough.
It is.
But you found in National Geographic some new literature that the memory of different animals is actually phenomenal. Like sheep and other animals. And rats even have empathy. Like they even care about people, which of course makes me, Clayton knows, if I see a mouse die or anything die, I get really upset and cry. And I've always been that way. But then that's why some people have rats as pets, because they're pretty smart. If they're in an environment where people are nice to them, they're really cool. They can be. Yeah. But so we go to second. And one of my favorite lines from Dana Carvey is I chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. I don't know that line. She chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. Broccoli.
So you know that broccoli.
Talk about broccoli.
Do you know that broccoli, that people that do like chess and checkers and people that are like in the championships for cognitive functioning, they eat a lot of broccoli because it actually can help repair the brain. It can help with problem solving. It can help with memory. It can help with damage. So a lot of people that have brain damage, they really want them to have a lot of broccoli. It's an amazing food. I actually love broccoli.
I learned here recently that broccoli was actually created a long time ago. So it wasn't something that was naturally done.
I think that's true, by the way.
There were really smart people created this to give us a bunch of goodies. And I love broccoli roasted with lots of butter and lots of sea salt.
Well, and the great thing about ReLive Greens is we do the DNA GMO testing on the plants and the parent plants.
So
these are really
GMO trace.
These are really important ingredients that are sourced from all over to make sure that we have really pure ingredients. And I've said this a lot. I wanted to make a product line, so if something ever happened to food sources and different things, we had what we needed. And I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just organic, that it wasn't just natural, but we knew exactly where the source came from. The problem is the minute a plant comes into this world, unless it's protected and sourced right, then it's immediately disintegrates, right? So there's a lot of factors that went into the ReLive Greens that were tested and a lot of things that were important. I do want to bring in another thing. We talked about learning, healing, brain damage, problem solving, immune system, vision, we didn't talk about all that. I just wanted that real quick.
Yeah.
But also cancer. And again, you guys know this was a formula that I had worked on when I had all of these things going on in my life. So it was really essential to put broccoli. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of this particular.
Well, you have a really cool word in there, the isothiocyanates. And, when you have something as complex as that to go along in a cruciferous vegetable.
I can't say those
Holy
words.
Geez. What else do we have? So we got the neuroprotective mechanisms and the effects of sulforaphane, which is one of the components found in broccoli. What other cool stuff is there in broccoli?
Well, it because of I never say it right, SFN, it really does slow the process of the brain aging, which is really important. It can actually even prevent the aging. And you guys know that a lot of the patents, a lot of things I write are around reversal of aging or different things that I do to help the cells be healthy, to help everyone live as long as they can live. And I just did an interview on, can we really live to be 120 or 130? And it's interesting. I brought up a lot of the key ingredients. I brought up Clean Slate. I brought up Restore. And I didn't bring their names in. I brought the key ingredients and a lot of the ReLive Greens, because it's really important for people to understand how the neural inflammation of the brain causes a lot of this progression of things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer. So you've got to protect the neurons from this damage. And that's one of the things that we know happens with certain vegetables like broccoli. And
it's also why the rest of the Trinity with Clean Slate, Zero, and Restore are so important, when it comes to brain health, because of the activation of the glymphatic system. And helping people get into deep REM sleep, and with the fragments from Clean Slate getting into lymphatic fluid and helping to wash the brain. So you get to clean out the tau, and then with the other neuroprotective benefits that you get from ReLive and really with Mito, and you can throw in the other ones, you actually get to go backwards a little bit. Your memory can improve. And this is where we've seen in some of the clinical data of looking at neurotransmission and proprioception, as far as memory and recall, but also reaction time, of looking at what not Dr. Rao, but Dr. Keshkesh has found working with Olympic athletes, that he's seeing 40 and 50% improvements in reaction time in elite young athletes. So imagine if you're seeing 40 to 50% improvements in reaction times, so neurological function in elite young athletes, what kind of improvements are you going to see in those that are in their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 100s and 110s and 120s and 130s and 140s and 150s? Oh, because we will be there. You and I will be there. Oh, yes.
Right now, I'm worried about my lips being so chapped.
Oh, we need some of the pucker plumper.
I know, I can't find it.
Oh.
Every time we get a product in, Clayton gives it all away.
I do not give it all away. We have a room full of it because we haven't made it available yet. But as soon as that stuff's available, it's going to be gone.
Clayton made some really good points about, the goal of what we're doing is really sustainability. you know, our bodies are machines and we have to sustain those machines and we have to really support those machines. And that's the goal with a lot of these ingredients. That's why people don't have to make claims. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Dylan,
See,
come
Dylan's
say hi to
coming
everyone.
through.
Wait, we have the newest member of our team, Dylan.
So we'll bring Flex in here.
This is Dylan Cravens.
Dylan Cravens. Nice to meet you all.
No, we're not finished yet.
Oh,
So Dylan was a rugby player, pretty famous rugby player, actually, in the United States from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Seriously.
He was a
And
truck.
I think he won what awards did you win? I just wanted them to know because he also is a bodybuilder and knows a lot about wellness and nutrition. He's our latest member. I want him to say a few things.
I played rugby with her son at the University of Tennessee. Was an All-American there for the All-National list. 2 or 3 time MVP and won a couple awards there. Then was a personal trainer and a certified nutritionist. And I came over here.
So
And
there
we're
we
so
go.
happy. And I've known him since he was little, although he was never really that little.
If we get 5 more guys, we can have a really good rugby sevens team for Root.
That's right.
We've got 2.
So he's going to be helping with customer service operations later. He's going to be brought in and he'll be helping with wellness, nutrition, personal training. We have a book that's coming out and hopefully Dylan will help write some of the book. But we're really excited to have Dylan as part of our corporate team. So all of you guys will meet him soon, but I just wanted to recognize him when he came in. He came in to bring me the lip plumper because he must have been listening.
I was listening.
He's learning. And our next trip to Cyprus, he's going to be in the weight room with Peter and the crew working out.
Yeah.
Because he can put up some weight.
Yeah, he's a really, not to get off topic, but he's really important to our family and an amazing individual in life. And I'm so thankful that Dylan's here. I've known him, like I said, since he was little. And
that was a long time ago because you can see he's not little.
Yeah. So anyway, I got off topic because Dylan came in.
So talk to me about the neuroprotective properties of blueberries. You know, this is my childhood. You know, you have names for things when you grow up.
What did you call them?
Blueberries. That's what I called them as a kid. Blueberries. Blueberries.
That's so cute, Clayton.
I know. So you can't name properly the large dogs that run in the woods. They're wolves. Right? I have blueberries. So let's talk about blueberries.
I love blueberries. Clayton knows this. We cannot keep enough blueberries at the house.
Kids absolutely murder the
kids
blueberries.
just eat them. It's always been one of my favorite foods. I love blueberries. But I love what's in the blueberries. They're really good for your body and brain. So guys, when you're craving broccoli or blueberries, please go eat it.
Eat it.
But you also have it in the ReLive Greens. I think one of the hardest things about traveling for me, and I've said this to you guys before, is we take the ReLive Greens and the Give Me Back My Youth because I do those shakes and the Restore and Clean Slate, natural barrier support, but mitochondria shield, which has become a huge one for us, but we run out. People are constantly asking us for products. And even when we do events like the Forbes event, where we have these swag bags, where we bring these bags of Root products, we give samples out. And by the way, if any of you guys do major events and you want our help with that, please let us know. We usually give the book, we give a sleeve of 0 in, and we give a Restore. But then we end up giving out, the Give Me Back My Youth and the ReLive, and we run out. And I can't even tell you how many trips that Patrick or Ted or Clayton or I've been on and we're all out. Or Duquesne, like we went to Florida, we were all out. Our whole family, we started getting colds and we're like, great, we're out of product. But anyway, blueberries was an important ingredient for this particular product because I really wanted to make sure that we addressed, again, the brain. And because of the brain tumor I had and because of what I went through, I really wanted to look at memory loss and recovering the brain cells, understanding that anytime someone has a tumor or anytime someone has Lyme's disease, right? Anytime someone has fibromyalgia, all of this is affected. So I really wanted something that would help lower the risk of these things, support the memory, increase concentration. I needed an ingredient that would really address the different things. And also mental health. Mental health is a key issue to us because we understand that mental health is as important as physical health and it's all connected. So I just want to make sure that you guys know how important this is for this particular ingredient because of how it has the antioxidant effects, because of how it helps with inflammation. And it also, by the way, helps with digestion, weight, and it helps you with your blood pressure and your cardiovascular as well.
Oh, and these little berries.
all in these little berries that are so good.
They taste so good. If you give them with a little honey.
Well, that's why another thing I love about ReLive Greens is that it's just the pure isolate of the ingredients. And that's really important because you're not worried about the weight gain with this product. In fact, it can help with weight loss if you use it the right way.
Hold on, this can make you lean?
If you use it the right way, but if you eat whatever you want all the time, it doesn't.
Oh, so let's divert real quick.
Okay.
When we say good diet, because there's a lot of stuff you can't get in grocery stores right now, as we were having trouble with. Right?
Yeah, this week couldn't get.
Things are changing a little bit. Things might get interesting over the next couple months.
Okay.
Right? We're not predicting anything, but it's been interesting. You can. We'll pause for you to
put in my
plump your lips a little bit and
plumper.
properly moisturize.
Yeah.
So in a time where there might be different food shortages and such, the ReLive Greens is something that can effectively replace a lot of the needs, the green needs and stuff that you'd have to go to the grocery store and spend a lot more money on right now.
Yeah.
Because of how you've constructed everything and what it's put together for. So, and you can see the blueberry studies and.
Well, the data from this model, it was basically looked at how the mice were fed and the deficits in memory performance. And it looked at the basically the plaques, which is the beta burden, amyloid beta.
The amyloid plaque.
Yeah, it's the marker. By the way, I want to add this. It is the marker, but we know now it's not what it used to be. Like I used to work in the pharmaceutical industry and we had Aricept and different things we worked on that affected the ApoE gene and markers. And the problem was there's much more to this, which are the environmental factors that are causing a lot of it. And it's really important for you guys to know that in this particular study, the data indicated that this potentially could overcome genetic predispositions like me to Alzheimer's, because my family has it throughout my entire family on both sides.
What are you saying, that there's an epigenetic component to memory and brain function?
Yes.
And that if you do good things can happen and your genes can actually reactivate or deactivate bad genes?
I think that in the next 10 to 20 years, we're going to have a lot of progress as it pertains to these neurocognitive diseases. But one of the first steps is, again, to clean out the body and support the body. So it was really important for us to bring this slide into fruition, not that we're claiming anything, but to let you guys know why this was put in to this particular formula and what it does to actually impact the body and the signaling inside the body.
But what you just hit on was something that's really intriguing, right? Because what you're implying is, from a science standpoint, when we look at neurology, we don't know everything yet. We're not even close.
No.
Right?
We're about 10 to 20%. Yeah.
So we've got 10, 20% of the knowledge in the space. And if you read some of the literature that was published back in 1976, right, with the World Health Organization, with what they were publishing on environmental toxins and mercury and how they affect everything, we know that it's the toxins that create the foundation for this cascade of chaos. So we've got to address that, but you can't just do it in one way, right? You can't just say, okay, clean slate is going to be the one thing for everything, because it's not. So you get into, building those, as Shrek used to say, layers, right? Because ogres have layers, like onions have layers, and you have to protect the body and give it tools in different layers. And one of the interesting things, I still haven't figured out how to eat these things yet, is pomegranates.
Do you know that I know how good sorry, I'm trying to respond to my children. Pomegranates, it's one of the things, like Mary Ella loves it. She buys the little cups of it. It's so good for you. And I've never learned to eat it either.
Do you eat the whole thing? Do you eat the rind? Is it the carp?
It's the seeds.
Or is it just the seeds? Because I think it's just the seeds, but it's weird because you get this whole thing and it presents like it's this really cool cake, but you only get the little bits on the inside because nothing else tastes good.
Well, I needed something.
And you can't juice it.
I needed something in this that really helped with the bacterial and fungal infections.
Okay.
That was really a focus for me for this particular product. It also helps, again, with different types of inflammation and cancer. But for me, the focus of putting this into the product, one of the main things was the bacterial and fungal infections.
So pomegranate seeds are like cranberries on crack.
They're really good for you. Extremely good. They're just harder to source. They're more expensive. You have to make sure you get the right source. It's kind of like different types of Clino. And I don't use it in a lot of my products because it's hard to find. In fact, I just looked because the toothpaste, I had Spirulina, and I think they took it out. And I'm like, great. Because a lot of times what happens is I do, and I've told you guys this, multiple formulas. I can tell you, let me go back to the toothpaste. It's taken me almost a year, right, Clay?
Yeah.
To formulate what I want. And I kept changing it. It kept not working right. The toothpaste has these little beads that actually are natural that help get rid of the parasites and fungus in the mouth. For pomegranate seeds, this was one of the hardest things that they couldn't source in the ReLive Greens. So I just wanted you guys to know it was really important to me. It does help the body improve memory. It does help with things like lowering the risk of heart disease in clinical studies. But I really wanted something, again, that could help protect the body against bacterial and fungal infections.
So when people talk about, nutrition and such, people have been trained to say, are you getting your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your zinc, your magnesium, your manganese, all these different things? What's important is because you're using the raw sources, all of those components are actually in all of these ingredients because it's what makes them up. And importantly, all of the amino acids and such. And it's the amino acids that the body really needs to start making glutathione and some of the other components. So while we're going to look at the ingredients and some of the mechanisms that the ingredients are showing, it's also when you combine these ingredients together that you're creating this amplification of benefits that does some really unique stuff. But then we get into, probiotics. So talk about Bacillus Coagulans, and what does it actually mean?
And I also have lactobacillus, but I don't think it's on the label.
Say lactobacillus again.
Lactobacillus.
Oh.
I use different types of bacteria to really help with pre and probiotics. But if you really look at ReLive Greens, even if I wouldn't have added this, it has a type of pre and probiotic in the ingredients, just like Restore. However, I really wanted to add something extra with this particular product because I was trying to impact the performance and the overall health of the body, as well as support positive cell interaction and get rid of the negative cells by necrosis and apoptosis. That was my goal. I also was looking at longevity and understanding that if you don't have the right bacteria throughout the body, that it's not good for you. We're born with all these bacterial cells and human cells, but they get off balance. So you've got to put the good bacteria in. And one of the problems with a lot of things that get rid of fungus or bad bacteria is it will get rid of good bacteria. So you've got to include something that will really support this equilibrium. And that's why I chose this particular type of bacteria to go into our product. And I really wanted to source it so that it would help throughout the body and with the signaling.
So there's a really important phrase that's here, when we talk about brain health, that you have to understand. And if you see the third one from the bottom where it says it will improve cholesterol, it does not say it will decrease cholesterol, because when we're talking brain health, the highest conglomeration of cholesterol in your body just so happens to be what we're talking about, your brain, right? Your brain is this big bundle of cholesterol with a bunch of wiring in it. You actually don't want to lower your cholesterol. So you need healthy cholesterol levels. You actually want healthy high levels of cholesterol, because if you have those two things, you have a healthy brain. And if your veins and your arteries have high levels of healthy cholesterol, that means you're well lubricated. It means nothing more than that. It means everything's going to start moving smoothly, and you're delivering good fats because we need the good fats. And if you're removing the toxins, you have a reduction in negative inflammation and things start working better. And then if you have really good bacteria, they're also going to decrease neuroinflammation and reduce oxidative stress. And what's been shown with all these big words like JA845, who knows? Do you know JA845? I don't. But when you compare it.
It was, so when you put that number J8, so basically
those are specific genes,
specific,
right?
They're tracking a specific one that they isolated. Yeah. So like when we do ours with the patient registry, we'll be able, when we produce articles, we won't put, like, for example,
clean
slate. We'll put a number, or we'll put,
Do I get to come up with a number
They
for fun? I
de-identify.
can come up with cool numbers.
This is it.
Oh.
Do whatever you want.
Okay. So
whatever you want.
Bacillus
that the
coagulans,
lawyer
like the
says.
others, is actually very, very, very good.
So I want to point this out before we go on.
Touch on it.
In this particular article where they looked at oxidative stress and neuroinflammation, they actually looked at behavioral testing,
Histological studies,
and biochemical analysis. So they really looked at everything, and they were able to see that this helped prevent this cognitive decline, right? That leads to neurodegenerative diseases, which is extremely important. And so I think when people hear about different bacteria or hear about different probiotics and prebiotics, they think the gut. But again, this goes back to it's all connected and it's all important. And so we also know that this particular bacteria helps with mental health, and I'm not sure that was in there in the other slide.
Oh, now we can talk about adding some muscle. Dylan's going to like this because spinach actually helps you add muscle. The whole story with Popeye.
He doesn't need muscle.
Oh, but he wants to keep it up. so he can fight the girls off.
He has a girlfriend.
I know.
Okay,
she's really cool. She got flowers and Sour Patch Kids.
She's super awesome. Why can't you be good? I need to be a better wife.
You should have seen Dylan blush yesterday when he got flowers. He's like,
she's super cool.
I'm like, wait a minute, your
like
girlfriend got you flowers. He's like, I know, I'm uncomfortable. But he did the smart thing. He brought them to you.
I need to text her. I need to get her number so I can like update her on
everything
on Dylan
behavior?
does.
It's on now. So let's talk about one of the cool things, because spinach is amazing, right? I used to hate spinach as a kid, then I learned to love it when I was introduced to hot spinach salads.
Ooh, I love hot bacon. Oh my gosh, I love hot spinach salads. I haven't had one in forever.
Oh, we're gonna have to do that.
I actually love spinach.
Spinach is amazing. So let's hit on spinach, and we'll do a hot spinach salad tonight. We'll put that together.
We're going out to eat, but okay.
Well, maybe we can find it.
Yeah. So
helps promote bone mass, inflammatory fighter. We know it's cancer preventative, but when it comes to brain health, kind of interesting, right?
But everyone knows also about eye health, right? So eye has been an important thing to me because of this cancer I had here that they were worried about being behind my eye. I've always had problem with eyesight. I've always had problems with different things that pertain to the eye. So this was really important to add this. And of course, the eyes are connected to the brain, and everything is hugely a network.
Your eyes are brain tissue.
Yeah. So
your eyes are exposed to the environment every day.
And we know that like chlorella, like spirulina, spinach is really good at detoxification as well.
Okay. And it helps to generate muscle. But so neuronutrition used as an anti-Alzheimer.
Well, I want to point out the second bullet. One study of more than 200 women found that a diet high in folate and vitamin B6, such as found in spinach and other dark leafy greens, helped improve mental ability and short-term memory.
You know what we call B6?
When I have people tell me that they aren't having good memory, I'm thinking, what are they eating? That's the first thing I'm thinking.
What are they eating, or what are they not eating? What are they not eating?
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of things that will actually decrease and suck out, folate and B6 and such. I remember, my ex-father-in-law used to have a bottle of B6 around, and if my ex-wife would get angry and cranky, he would just throw the bottle at her.
Why are you bringing that up on this call? That's irrelevant.
Just take B6 because it's really good for you. It helps balance your mood.
Okay.
Ladies, more B6. Guys, make sure that your wives or your girlfriends or your kids are getting relief. They'll be happier, which means you'll be happier.
Another thing about spinach is this post-stroke. So people that have had strokes or heart attacks, just so you know, that's really important that this particular ingredient, that you eat it, you incorporate it into your diet, and it is in the ReLive Greens.
And a reduction of systemic inflammation is really important if you're looking at recovering from stuff like that.
And then we go on to my star product.
Oh, yes. Get into the Spirulina. Let's go.
My
you
favorite.
You should have wore green today, so we could be rocking a little blue and green.
I don't have my clothes. We're redoing my whole closet. So all my clothes, if you guys see me look different right now, my bathroom and my clothes are everywhere. And it's just a mess. So anyway,
under the red chandelier is causing a renovation of the closet.
We're renovating. The closet is going to be pink. You guys will have to see it. Pink and gold and black. And then upstairs, there's going to be an upstairs that's going to be really raw and kind of like just cement and wood and the red chandelier, where we'll be doing the podcast.
Oh.
So I can't wait till we do an event in Nashville so I can have people come to my house.
And just spend time in your closet.
No, well, I mean, I want to do an event so people come here.
Oh.
But we haven't planned that. We have to plan it. Okay, let's go on to Spirulina so we can get you guys through this hour. I know you have lots of other things to do. Spirulina is so important to me. It was really what I leaned on when I was going through all these things and trying to talk the doctors out of surgery. I really sourced everywhere in the world to find the right Spirulina. And when that happened to me, I was very cognizant of the fact that it had lots of results that talked about how it would signal with different types of cancer, how it would help with tumor suppression. And so for me, this is something that's extremely important. I don't have enough of this on this slide. We'll have to do a specific talk on it later, but Spirulina is definitely something as far as brain health that was really important for me to put in this product, and it had to be the right source of Spirulina.
And there's a pretty good amount in here.
Yeah.
Because it's one of your favorite things.
Yeah. If you look at the antioxidant effects and you look at how it manages and everything from heart disease to blood pressure, it's really important. And also if you look at fatigue and energy, it's very important. But I used it in here again because of the ability to really help with the communication so you could shut the signaling down.